Shalom, I want to give all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rachakodash, and Shanya Kabad, and Gadawala Rakwab, to Kwanyam Nawa, which is double honor to our elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and Shalom, Wabarakim, Labkayim, Shayasharala, and that's peace and blessings to the elect of Israel. And as always, to the confusion of faces, meaning those who look like the other nations, but whose spirits resonate with the truth, and that believe and have faith in Yahweh, the Heavenly Father, and Yahweh Shai, the only begotten Son. So to all of you brothers, no matter how you look, no matter what so-called color of skin you are, if you have the faith in the true doctrine, then I want to say peace and blessings to you all. So as you can see, it says right here, rape during Civil War. And the title of this article on the Washington Post, there you go, as you can see it, came out June 29th, and it's entitled, How Rape is Weaponized in Civil Wars. So the author of this article is basically bringing out the relevancy of the act of rape during the times of civil war. And what I want to do through the Spirit, if the Spirit allows me to do so, is just bring out the fact that one, civil war is coming to America, which is Babylon the Great in the scriptures, and two, that also in the scriptures, rape is prophesied during these times of civil war that are talked about in these scriptures, because truly civil war, martial law, and all these other perils are coming to the grounds of America very, 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 very soon. All right. So without further ado, let's get right into it. I'm only going to read a little bit of this article. It's pretty long, but I'm going to, Lord willing, just hit the points. It says, when I began conducting research in Eastern Congo in 2005, it was nearly impossible to avoid conversations about rape during war. All of my interview subjects, civil society leaders, workers with non-governmental organizations, UN officials, brought it up, even though it was not my topic or something I asked about. The area, which UN official Margaret Wallstrom would call the rape capital of the world 5 years later, was racked by sexual violence, with clinics and hospitals full of women who had suffered injuries from particularly violent forms of gang rape, often involving sharp objects and weapons. And no matter where I went, I was introduced to survivors. There seemed to be no rhyme or reason to who was targeted. The youngest gang rape survivor I met was 5, and the oldest were elderly women. Survivors were of all ethnicities and had been attacked in both urban and rural environments. All right, so let's keep reading. It says, the crisis would shortly thereafter begin to grab headlines, with everyone from Nick Kristof and Eve Ensler to Hillary Clinton and Oprah Winfrey trying to help, some more effectively than others. There was no doubt that the crisis merited that level of attention. Blah, blah, blah. Let's jump down to right here. It says, but what no one could definitely explain was why this horrific violence was happening. And without that explanation, activists, doctors, and supporters could only hope to heal the physical, psychological, and spiritual wounds of rape. Stopping it before it started was far more complex. It says, while a number of scholars had done innovative research on the topic, there was still no explanation as to why some of Congo's armed groups engaged in sexual violence while others did not. And we did not understand why extreme forms of gang rape were so often used to terrorize women as opposed to other forms of the violent crime. Some posited, I guess that it was because of fragility of the Congolese state, blah, blah, blah. It says others argued that it was related to conceptions of masculinity and a long history of powerful people exploiting vulnerable Congolese populations. So now they're getting more into why it was happening, or trying to figure out why specifically it was happening over there in Congo. It says others thought it might be done as part of an explicit military strategy. We just didn't have a comprehensive answer. And all that is a point right there, because as you continue to read, I had already, before making this video, just skimmed through, this article. But basically it goes on to just talk about how this lady, she went on to do just conduct different tests and things like that. And her hypothesis as to why rape happens so often, and more specifically, she went on to research why gang rape happens more often than any other forms of, I guess, sexual violence during the times of civil war. So with that being said, I want to jump right into the scriptures now. So we're going to go to the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 15, a well-known scripture. We're going to start at verse 14, because by reading this, we're going to read verse 14, Lord's will through verse 19. This is going to explain civil war, the civil war that's coming to America, and of course, martial law. So 2nd Ezra chapter 15, starting at verse 14, it says, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein." Woe meaning destruction, right? "For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh," meaning the gun, their death draweth nigh. "And one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands." In the modern day, sword is the gun. "For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes," meaning their cops or military, whoever, right? The governors, senate, nobody. "For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another, and they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power." So whatever's on their minds, whatever they want to do in these times to come, it's going to be what they do. That's called anarchy. Anarchy meaning no rule, no ruler. Verse 17 says, "A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able." This is martial law. This is civil war. Verse 18, "For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, the gun, and spoil their goods," meaning rob their houses and everything they have to offer. "Because of the lack of bread," there's going to be a big famine in America, "and for great tribulation." This right here is all martial law and civil war. All right. So all these things are going to be happening. Now, while all these things are going to be happening, let's jump over to the 16th chapter. All right. Because now with that being said, knowing the perilous times that we're coming into, all right, these are visions of the end times that we are all living in right now. All right. Ezra's also got other visions concerning World War III that's coming to America, or that's coming rather to this world, that's going to be held over there in Yahweh Shaphat, which is what? That's the decision of Yahweh, the Heavenly Father, over there in the Middle East. All right. So this is 2nd Ezra chapter 16, starting at verse, I'm going to get the point. Verse 33, it says, "The virgin shall mourn, having no bridegrooms. The woman shall mourn, having no husbands." So all these females during the times of civil war and martial law are going to be mourning, crying. It says, "Their daughters shall mourn, having no helpers." Why? Verse 34 says, "In the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine." So whether or not their husbands, your boyfriend, your man, your nigga, whoever you want to call him, whatever you want to call him, whether he goes over there to the Middle East, he gets drafted during the times of this World War III that is to come, he's going to be destroyed. Or if he stays over here in America with you, he's going to die by famine. Or he's going to get shot up by the modern day sword, which is a gun. And you women are going to be left by yourself. You're going to be mourning. The scriptures talk about it right here. It says it right here. You're going to be mourning. So we have martial law coming, civil war coming, uproars and protests of the people. During that time, there's going to be a draft. All the men are going to be drafted to the next World War III. And you women are going to be left by yourselves. And now let's go to the book of Isaiah. Let's go to the book of Isaiah to show what's going to be happening during these times. Because Isaiah and Ezra, both righteous men, both Israelite men, all right, had visions of the end times. through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. They both received visions of the times that we are surely about to come into. So this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 13. I'm going to start at verse 15. It says, every one that is found shall be thrust through, and every one that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword. Same exact prophecy, same exact thing. All right, Ezra was a little bit more detailed. Verse 16 says, their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Their houses shall be spoiled. You see, same exact prophecy. And what? It says this, and their wives ravished. So let's look up this word ravished. All right, it says, and their wives ravished. Remember, this is all happening during the times of martial law, civil war. The men are getting drafted. The women are by themselves. The bridegrooms, the daughters, they're by themselves. They're mourning. All right, because the men are being drafted into this next World War III. Right? And then it says during these times, the women are going to be ravished. It says shakab. That's the word for ravished. All right, shakab. Let me see. Shakab. All right, and what does it say? Ravished. Let's go to the Strongs. It says a primitive root, to lie down for rest, sexual connection, decease or any other purpose at all, cast down, lover, lay self down, make to lie down, down to sleep, still with. All right, let's keep going. Let's see what else we see. Let's just make sure. To lie down, lie down, right? You come right here to be, what does it say? It says to be lain with sexually, to be lain with sexually, to make to lie down, to be laid down, right? So women are going to be getting ravished or what? Raped during the times of civil war. All of this is coming to America. And the reason why we bring out certain prophecies like this is, one, because it's in the scriptures and we have to declare the whole gospel. We have to talk about every single last thing in these scriptures. And with that being said, the scriptures say to do what? To cry aloud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and show thy people their transgressions. And why do we do that? One, to get your blood off of our heads, first of all right? And two, because once you hearken unto the voice of the Lord, you come back to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, and you have faith in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, then what? At the end of the day, you're doing all these things to receive salvation. You're doing all these things to be protected in these times to come. You're doing all these things because you should be fearing Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai first and foremost, and then also fearing these times to come as well. Because I don't know about you, but some of the things, a lot of the prophecies that I read in these times put fear in my heart, put fear in my spirit. And that makes me want to do these sit downs. It makes me want to go out there on the highways and byways. It makes me want to pray and fast that the Lord protects me in these times to come. I mean, I'm one of the brothers that, I don't have a chick. I don't have a female. I don't have a girl by my side. But I'm sure, I know a lot of brothers do. A lot of brothers have girlfriends. A lot of brothers and elders, have wives. And a lot of you brothers out there who are just now coming into the truth, that may or may not come across this video, and others, you have girls, and they're going to be saved through you, through a man. They're going to be saved through a righteous man of the Lord that has faith in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, because that's who's going to be protecting us in these times, and then we're going to be protecting them in those times. All right, so we point out all these prophecies so that we can, as men, get prepared for the times that are to come. The Lord said that he's raising up 144,000 men. And as soon as those men are sealed, those servants, as soon as they're sealed, then all hell is going to break loose. Once again, civil war, martial law, famine, all these perilous times are coming to America. And what's coming with it? Rape. And that's talked about in the scriptures right here. Let's read it one more time. So let's go back, and then Lord's will close out. It says, Isaiah 13 verse 16, it says, Their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Their houses shall be spoiled, and their wives ravished. So that has to happen to somebody. It's going to happen to somebody, to a lot of people actually. There's more females, there's more women on this planet than there are men. And this is going to happen to somebody. It has to happen because the Lord said it. All right? So it shall be done. You just don't want it to happen to anybody around you. Right? So, Lord's will, if it be his will, if you have a female, if you have whoever in your life, whatever, woman in your life, hey man, it's the time to get right now. You're under this grace period. You get right, and then you pray for your girl, and then Lord's will, he protects both of you in these times to come. So once again, I want to give all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Chakudash. I pray that this video was edifying to the elect, and double honors to our elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. Shalom.